Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 3 of Black Void into the Oblivious Depths. I am your arbiter, Colonomicon. Colin, just call me Colin. It's easier, shorter. And very, very pleased to be joined by my favorite cast of role players in the world. I am surrounded by so many great people, and I'm so happy to be here as I am every week. So before we get going, just a few things to get us kicked off here. We have a few sponsors helping us out this season. Among them are such illustrious folks as Christopher Gray, the author of The Great American Witch and Happiest Apocalypse on Earth, who is supporting our Great American Witch show. Also, Broken Dice. You can get some discounts over there. Black Void Games, who is hanging out in chat right now. That's our friend Christopher. How you doing? Thank you so much for being here. Mighty Narwhal, Smudgy Games, creator of Parslings, Arcana Media, the wonderful Evil Hat Productions, and of course, the one I get excited for every week, Grinding Coffee. They will deliver delicious coffee directly to your home. Every week I'm like, I gotta do that, and then I forget, and then Wednesday comes around again, and then I forget again. But I really need to get some good coffee in this house because it's in desperate, fam. I gotta do this. Eventually I will. But yes, by all means, go over to Grinding Coffee, use the discount code Penny for a Tail, get yourself a sweet discount on some delicious coffee delivered directly to your home. Okay, so that is that stuff out of the way. Let's get to the cool part, which is introducing the great people that I play with. And I'm going to begin tonight with Liv. Hey,
Hello,
Liv.
sorry.
Who are you?
I was legit looking through Grinding Coffee's thing.
Oh, were you really?
Yeah, if you saw me on my phone, that's what I was doing. Anyway, hi, I'm Liv. I'm playing Sanha, Commander Sanha. She is the half human, half blood. There you go. Leader of this fearless crew. No fears, not a single one.
So you say. I am unconvinced. No fears. What are you looking forward to tonight, Liv?
Figuring out who are these people, because this was not the plan. So they need to get off our planet. That.
Whoa.
Like that
okay. Damn.
She's only a little stressed out.
It certainly was not the plan, but I refuse to believe that you really thought everything was going to go to plan. Come on. Okay. Speaking of things not going to plan, Zohar, Anna, a character whose entire life has not gone to plan.
More or less.
I always do this.
Yeah.
I spoil it.
That's okay. It's kind of a big character thing, really. It's not a spoiler. Hey everybody, I'm Anna, Nymeria941 online, and today I'm going to be playing Zohar, who is our most human kind of person in the group, except for the fact that she's void marked and has a void demon living in the back of her head, who now has a name, which is very exciting because
You did settle on a name.
I did settle on a name. I DM'd you the name that I liked, as a matter of fact.
Yes, but the DM said I'm thinking of going with.
Don't panic.
I didn't know
I'll
you
do it
settled on
again.
it.
But I have decided. And what am I looking forward to? The thing that I'm mostly looking forward to is actually meta knowledge out of character that I have a sinking suspicion is going to happen. But what Zohar's looking forward to is just exploring a new planet that I'm sure is going to be great, and the people on it are going to be super nice, and we'll have nothing to fear from them. Surely they will be our friends.
Oh, brave new world with such people in it. Or are they? Oh, could be. About to go find out. Wally! Who are you? Who you playing? What are you looking forward to?
What's up, y'all? It's me, Wally. I'm playing Oshan, the human shark-human hybrid. It goes by he, him pronouns. Both of us go by he, him pronouns. And, oh man, what am I looking forward to? I mean, it's officially the unknown, so I'm not sure exactly what I'm looking forward to. I'm just ready for whatever is going to happen today. Be it, wreck me emotionally or physically.
I mean, I don't. Okay, that could happen. Yeah, that's a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest with ourselves.
Yeah. Like I said, it's always best to assume that nothing's going to go to plan. So plan to get hurt, and you'll be fine.
That's what I always go with.
Yeah, works for me. And finally, Stella.
Hello, I'm Stella Luna here on Twitch, StellaLuna_TV on Twitter. My character is named Yara. She is a half-blood. She's half human, half lizard alien. She has a couple of cool traits. She has alternative sense. She has these like little things that come off this back of her head. They're kind of like spines, and they're able to detect changes in pressure, which could be kind of like a danger sense. She has night vision and a transformative skin. Her skin changes color and in a chameleon-like fashion, but she has no control over it. It's all biological. And yeah, I really hope Oshan doesn't get hurt, because Yara's tactic for combat is going to be hide behind Oshan.
That might work. He's pretty tall. This is actually something for my reference. Oshan's the tallest by a lot, right? Followed by
he's definitely. I think after that is either Sanha or Zohar.
Yeah,
I want to
tall
say
is
Sanha.
I am pretty sure I gave Sanha a height, and now I can't remember it. But I usually play shorties. I usually play like 5 foot, so I don't think Sanha's that short. I think I made her like 5'8".
Yeah, she's taller.
But even then, like that's
Zohar. Yeah.
I think Yara's 5'2".
I'm taller than
I always imagine Yara as like a little thing.
Yeah,
Oshan is like
little tiny.
yeah. Oshan's like damn near 7 feet tall, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. He's like 6.5 feet tall.
Yep, quite tall.
Just a waste of atoms at that point.
Wow.
I mean,
Starts already.
Started already.
To be fair, it's different
Right
when
out of the
your
gate.
species is like primarily just swimming, because you have all of that water to buoy you up. So he's not tall so much as he's just long, like
Long?
sharks are.
Long.
I don't think I'm making it better. I think maybe I made it worse.
Maybe you're making it worse.
Big guy.
Sana has a tall
Yeah.
personality.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
It's because I also
Okay.
have a tall personality.
Okay, so to get everybody back up to speed with what happened last time, things got weird because we entered the void. We finally shoved off from Aniar, our intrepid crew, the first humans to travel into the void and find a new world for themselves. Well, humans mostly. They left Aniar after receiving some disturbing news about their employer, and traveled into the void. The void did everything it could to just a moment. The void did everything it could to tempt them into opening the windows. It was really that simple. It wanted to see them for some reason. It wanted them to see it. But through a series of really remarkable willpower saves, none of them succumbed. Even when the Void used their parents against them, their children against them, and used each other against them, they all resisted. And as your arbiter, I'm extremely proud. They made it through the Void unscathed, a little shaken up, but otherwise unscathed, and landed on the planet known only as Hazy Eden, part of the first stop on their planetary itinerary. They got out, got to the top deck, and saw something they 100% were not expecting to see. A city. There were constructed buildings stretching on beyond the forest that they landed in. And apparently this uninhabited planet is a little more habited than they thought. And with that, I will be right back. I have a very quick tech gremlin to assess. I will be back in just a hot second. See you on a moment. Talk amongst yourselves.
Can we talk about what our rooms look like?
Oh, I think we should
I
totally
would
talk
love
about what our
that.
rooms look
We
like.
should do that. We should do that.
I love that. Because you have like a bunch
Start
of
with-
plants, right?
Start with Zohar.
Yeah, I want to know what
So-
Zohar has.
Yeah, I was just about to be like, I think she's like the one that we know the least about what her private space is like. Zohar doesn't actually have like a whole ton of possessions from her previous life. Most of the things that she has in her room, she's acquired relatively recently, like within the last 10 years or so. She's got in the sort of like little closet area hanging up next to her work clothes, the sort of faded bluish dress that she had worn for the ball. She does have a little chest that has collections of different like dried flowers and fruits and cooking supplies. Like she does have, you know, the stuff that's in the kitchen galley of the ship or whatever, but she's got her, you know, favorite pots and pans and utensils and stuff like that saved. And mostly just a lot of like drawings, letters, written materials, got some like recipe ideas jotted down, things like that. But otherwise, it's kind of bare, actually. She doesn't have a whole lot of knickknacks or anything like that. But Yara, you have plants, right? Like I love
I
that
think-
description from last week.
Yeah, Yara has definitely the most. It sounds like they have the most descriptive room of us all.
Yes. Tell us.
Oh my gosh. So I don't know how like sophisticated the room like technology is, but if there's like a personal thermostat, the room is definitely going to be like moist and baking, and like there's just a bunch of plants everywhere on every surface, floor, chairs, tables, like just a row like right next to the like shutters that we have that like block out the void while we're traveling. And I imagine she even like curls up with a few of them like while she's sleeping, just has like these like different kinds of ceramic pots that she's collected from all different places. I imagine like some are really bulbous, some are really plain, some are painted, some are matte, some are glossy. And I kind of imagine she just has like a collection of really random items in her room. God, her room is a total mess. Like I wouldn't be able to live in there. Like she doesn't have the concept of put things into drawers or put things into boxes. They just kind of like, there's like pens and pebbles and like, I think pieces of clothing scattered throughout. And I think Sanha was the one that helped her pick out these different outfits, but they're all like kind of like dirty or like wrinkled, and there's just chaos everywhere. Yep.
I'll go
about-
next because there's a weird little side note to Sanha's. Sanha's room itself is pretty chill, I think. Like, I think she makes her bed every morning. Things are organized and put away. Very organized, like clothing situation. I think she has like pieces of like artwork that she brought with her, like these sketches and these paintings. None of them are like put into a like a case, not a case, like a frame or anything like that. So they're all just kind of like stuck up like posters. But I think she's tried to do sort of this like collage wall that she, I think it's like for the door. I think it's on the wall that the door is on. So when you walk in, you won't see it. But when she's sitting on her bed and she's looking forward, she can. We talked about it a little bit last week. She has just like the most plush bed imaginable, like definitely as big and comfy as she can make it with all of her blankets and sheets and stuff. But when she's stressed out, or not stressed out, but like when she needs to relax, she would go to Yara's room and she would like find some plants that are like kind of cornered together, and she'll just lay underneath them, like silent, not say anything, just like lay underneath like the canopy of these plants.
Oh, I love that. And I imagine there's like flowers and stuff, and I imagine it smells really nice in there, really fresh.
The air in there is so goddamn fresh.
Has to. It just you enter the room and you feel your pores open up and they get cleansed. You just feel a good rush of air fill your lungs.
So what I'm imagining for this too is, just because it's very greenhousey, and you mentioned like, oh, everybody has a thermostat individual in their room, makes total sense, right? Because like you'd imagine that there's going to be a bunch of different species that need like comfortable in different temperature ranges and stuff. So Yara's room being like this nice greenhouse plant slumber party place is just like, that sounds great. I love that.
I really like that.
It is a little warm for Sanha, but that is the one thing she actually doesn't complain about. Most of the time, if Yara was to do something that she didn't like, she would say something, but she lets the room be warm. Keyword lets.
Oshan's room, he has a very practical space. Like one half of the room looks very practical. It's all of this like a bedroll. There's a simple bedroll, and there's the closet, and hanging on the door of the closet is the suit that he wore to the function. But on the other side of the room, there is a desk, and on that desk is a water paint set and the sketchbook he uses that he draws in. And he uses that as like his area where he just works on his art. But then also right next to it, though, is an easel with a canvas sitting on it. And there are a bunch of empty canvases next to it. And you can see that he has painted a lot of different paintings so far of things he saw. Like there are so far 3 pictures. Actually, there are 4 pictures that look like abstract versions of everyone on the ship.
What did I miss? Just kidding, I heard the whole thing.
Oh my
That was
gosh.
part of the problem. Okay, fixed. Problem solved. Not worth going into. Okay, so, yes, I caught that we described your dorm rooms, and I'm glad you did that, honestly, because you have your own ship. We didn't get a real good chance to describe the ship and your kind of setup down there, because we did all that in our session 0. We had them pick out their rooms in session 0, so that part is taken care of. But I'm really, really glad that you all did that. We all know the little spaces that you live in. It's adorable. But anyway, where we left off. All of you had gone up, I believe it was all of you, had gone up on the top deck. And Weha had just said, oh, wasn't expecting that. And you all see a city stretched out before you. There is these massive trees on either side of this kind of pond that your ship came up in. These trees are mostly just big, tall, straight, wide trunks like redwoods that are just topped with greenery, only at the very top. Other than that, just sort of sheer, looks basically unclimbable unless, I don't know, actually you all have kind of animalian techniques that might make that possible. there are these bright, beautiful, multicolored flowers that are growing all over the place, shorter shrubbery, tall grass, and then in the parting through these trees, you can see a city. There are these buildings, kind of tall, skinny buildings, simple doors at the front, and kind of conical shaped that come to a point, almost like big, sand dunes, sort of. But you don't see any people, or anything humanoid, or anyone really walking around other than around the ship. There are some animals that you see. There are these four-legged creatures with these that are gray and red and have this kind of leathery-looking skin that have these carapaces across their face that are just trotting around happily, munching on grass, not a care in the world, don't even seem to have noticed that you've landed. And the strange dichotomy of this scene is not lost on anyone. And Navari is wide-eyed, completely taken aback. I should probably report back to the consortium about this.
Yes. I agree. Okay. Yes, please report back. Ask what the consortium would like our best course of action to be, if they want us to engage, if they want us to leave. I am in favor of leaving, but we should check in with them first.
Now, this was always a possibility.
It was always a possibility,
Nonetheless,
but not to this level.
Yes, I will say the extent is a bit much more than I was expecting, certainly. But your directives do stay the same. Should you wish to do any specimen collection, make sure that you use the appropriate containers, store them in the locked storage below deck, and whatever happens, nothing is to come on this ship, especially if it's sentient. It is not to come along with us. But other than that, I believe it is within your mission to explore responsibly, of course.
Arbiter, can I ask a question? Because
You may.
we would know this as characters who've gone through training. What's our first contact protocol for this? Because that seems likely.
First contact protocol.
Like, is this one of those observe but do not engage? Do we have, like, diplomatic initiatives we're supposed to just, I don't know why, but, you know, not expecting that this planet was gonna have habitable life. I was like, oh, we'll probably not find anything we might have to communicate with.
Right.
Yes. It is sort of a, I guess it's okay, so I'm going to confess, I'm not a Star Trek person, but, like, I think, like, help me out here, like, Prime Directive.
Prime Directive, yeah, don't interfere with the development of a civilization.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You are within your rights to interact with other living things that you find. You are allowed to collect specimens of, like, flora, and maybe, like, microbial fauna or fungi or something like that. You're not supposed to take anything sentient on the ship. That's a big one. And if in the event that you encounter something sentient, by all means, you should document it and observe safely. But yeah, like, you're not trying to come here and, like, colonize a planet that's otherwise already inhabited by sentient life.
Follow-up question. Oh, go ahead. Sorry. I wasn't sure if
That's
you
all.
were adding on
Oh,
to
no.
that or not, but okay. Do we tell them that we're from the Todd Consortium or not? Like, what would we have been told in training? Is it like you're representing us, or you're secretly representing us, so don't tell anyone? You could just be like
Yeah, no,
random
Zohar,
spacefarers.
you flash back to that awful training video that you and Yara watched on loop
Oh God,
forever. While
for
you were
hours,
stuck in that
hours
conference
and
room,
hours. That's
waiting
right.
for Sana and Oshan to be accepted. Not that you knew that at the time, but one of the things that you did here at all times in that was you are representing the Todd Consortium at all times. Act with tact and diplomacy whenever interacting with sentient species. So, you are permitted to interact with them. You are permitted to explain that you are from the Todd Consortium if you can communicate. The Todd Consortium certainly doesn't mind the idea of their name being the first thing that a new sentient, previously uncontacted sentient species hears. They kind of like the way that rings because they're a little full of themselves like that. But you are to, carry yourself in such a way that you present the Todd Consortium in a good image. And yes,
Okay.
act with, as I said, tact and diplomacy.
Okay. Navari, there is one more thing that could potentially be useful for us. Do you have true sight? Between you and I, we could probably get a little bit more of a read on if the void is causing this, or if it's involved somehow. If
You
she
said
doesn't
true
have
sight?
it, I do. Yeah.
I can't say that I'm blessed with that particular ability, but I will say that this void rupture that we entered through feels new, unmaintained, and a bit jagged. There's certainly... And she kind of takes a deep breath, and yes, there's void energy leaking all over this place.
Okay. I would like to go ahead and have Zohar use that ability.
Okay.
This attribute allows the character to perceive the true nature of existence, seeing the transcending and emanating void. Although the character does not necessarily understand what is seen, he or she immediately notices any void presence in their near surroundings and can discern individuals who are touched by the void. And if I have to roll for it, if I have to roll to notice anything other than just that sense, I get a +1. So
Okay, cool.
I'm going
Cool.
to perceive with my void eyeballs if I see anything void-like.
Okay, cool. How does Zohar do this when she taps into this kind of like third eye sense?
So
What does this look like?
normally the demon is hanging out kind of at the back of her mind. Whenever she's seeing through this, she allows it to kind of take over and come to the forefront and just basically
hoping you were
be
gonna say
open
that.
and receptive to new visual input.
Do you feel it?
It's really strong.
It's everywhere. It's in everything. This place is... It feels like home, but not quite. Something's wrong, but the void is strong here. Very strong.
and you can see it, Zohar. It's like it's leaking out of everything. In the trees, the cracks beneath, or the cracks between the bark are leaking void energy. From the flowers, they're giving off a wafting scent of void energy. The buildings themselves have spiraling columns of void energy rising from them. Within the buildings, you can see shapes moving back and forth too quickly to discern, but there's something there. And for a moment, it's like you're back in the void. It's all around you. You know you've exited. It's the difference between knowing when you're awake and knowing when you're dreaming. You can't describe it, you just know. You know. Except when you're dreaming and it fools you. But right now, you know in your heart of hearts that you're awake, that you're here, that this is not the void, and yet the touch of the void is powerful on this planet. It is everywhere, and it is all around you.
It's like it's creating things out of nothing. You feel it too, right? Huh.
Yes. Be careful here, Zohar.
I'm gonna let you be a little bit more awake, if that's okay, when we get off the ship. You do me a favor and let me know if we're walking into something that's really obviously gonna kill us all.
If it's obvious, you
worse.
won't eat me.
Well, it seems rude to not ask you along for the ride.
I will be your eyes. I've always been your eyes.
Thanks.
Be careful.
I think it would be a good idea for the rest of us not to eat or drink anything here or touch anything too closely. Be extra cautious, Yara, if you're doing specimen collection. I think there's something void off about this place.
You can see Yara visibly deflate, and she kind of begins wringing her hands together. Oh, I was hoping for a close inspection of the specimens here. It is quite fascinating. Do you see? And then she kind of like begins to ramble about like the geological features that we can see out to the viewport. It is ripe for life.
It is, but normally rocks don't... It looks like it's... You know when you're supposed to be seeing something through a screen, but instead you just get that white noise, staticky stuff? Everything here has that all over it. But it's not alive exactly, but it's not alive either. This doesn't make a lot of sense.
I can smell it.
Do you think that is why that city is out there? Does it have to do with that feeling you have?
Maybe.
The
noise is all over the city.
It?
Oh, yeah. You've been through the void as many times as I have. You can just kind of... I mean, no offense, Zohar, but I told you the first time I met you that you stink of the void.
You did.
Yeah. And this place Reeks. It's pretty though. Look at it, man. Wow.
That almost makes it worse though, because how much of this is actually real?
That's what I'm wondering
And
too.
Oshan has a point. A city might have something to do. I don't know. I just don't know.
It's not a real city.
Maybe.
We should
think
go
it's real.
investigate.
I just don't think it is real in the way that we understand that.
It's also a little bit. He kind of like jumps up and down. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, gravity's a little heavier here, so you know, if you feel a little bit, it's not you didn't put on the Void 15. That's just the gravity, so don't worry about that. But they're a little bit. Must be a little bigger than we thought. It's probably going to get this experience here when you're working on planets with higher gravity. You get a little more tired out faster than you're used to, so be mindful of that. You know, don't go for any long jogs out there. You might find yourself winded quick.
That is good to know.
It's also kind of, and he kind of like tugs at his robe. It's like it's kind of hot too. And it's like it is like the atmosphere of this planet, like, and the weather right now. It's bright and sunny, but it's very humid, and this is like Florida in August humid. It's
Oh God.
heavy.
Oh.
The air is a force field. It feels like you
Yeah.
can chew the
It's
air.
your-
Walk by that airplane.
It's your third shower every day. Just
Yara
walks
loves
outside.
it. It's icky.
Oh.
It's icky sticky, and it's perfect for Yara.
Yep.
Yara's never gonna leave this place. It's got all the plant life. It's super humid. It's perfect.
Sanha like,
And
oh god, I'm like getting flashbacks. Sanha like pushes all of her feather hair off of her neck because it's just so thick and gross.
Yeah.
Ties it all up. Whoop. Ties it all up and is like, okay. Explore the city. We have a couple of different options, all right? We can check out the city. We can try to look around at the nature, flora, fauna, see if there's anything that we could figure out, anything that we can get more under control. Soha, maybe, I don't know, maybe if like you got closer to it, but
There's always a chance I
I don't
could
know.
learn more about it if we got closer.
that's what I'm thinking too.
I think
I
no
just
matter
don't-
what route we end up taking, we're gonna have to look at that city eventually.
I know, I just don't like it. I don't want to. It's risky. I don't know if it's risky. It just... But you're not wrong. So...
Besides, it's
If
not
you
going to be
all-
much of a report if we just, show up, stop here for 15 minutes, and then leave again. We have to
It's-
actually have
yeah.
something to write home about.
I know. Okay, plan. Everybody go get your equipment, get anything that you need, anything that you want. Yara, your job is to collect specimens and, start building up your reports. Everybody obviously is going to be doing that, but Yara, that is your job. We'll make a slow track from the ship to the city, trying to collect as much information as we can as we go. 2 birds, 1 stone. Is that offensive to her? Sorry.
to yourself.
I had the same exact
I live
thought.
the
I
plan.
was
Why
thinking
do you
the
want to kill
same
any
thing.
birds with any stones?
I mean, maybe
Middle
if
of
the
player,
birds
I
are
was like,
assholes.
"Did she say that?" What was that?
There's... I said maybe if the birds are assholes, but...
Oh, I thought you said all birds are assholes.
No. But you know how, humans have insults
Y'all getting
for putting down
offensive with
other
each other.
humans specifically. Maybe this is something that you say to, your
Mhm.
enemy's children or something.
You know what I don't like though? It's You notice how it's really flat? Like, there's no hills. It's just... And, like, you look around and it's like, there are no hills. Like, it's... The topography is just dead flat. And there's all of these trees that are, you know, close to 100 feet high in places. But they're all about the same size in terms of thickness. And they're all pretty evenly spaced from each other. So everywhere looks like everywhere else. Like, finding a landmark would be pretty tough.
Great.
If you've ever seen the New Jersey Pine Barren Woods, it's like that. It'll drive you crazy.
I knew that's what you were going to say.
Yeah, I've used that image in many an RPG, but it's enough to drive you nuts because you can't. Everywhere just looks like everywhere else. It's so hard to find
Driving
anything
through
discernible.
Wyoming. No disrespect to anybody from Wyoming, but driving through Wyoming was hell. Yeah.
So like, just be careful, and I don't know if there's any way you can like throw out some breadcrumbs or something so you know where you are. That might be a good idea.
I agree.
actually
This
have
is
an
going to be
idea about
very dangerous. This is going to be very dangerous to trek out into. I for the like of me, I can't see any kind of landmark or anything here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. It's going to be a problem. What do you want me to do, Commander? Just keep the engine running? Or... Just kidding. That's not how that works.
Well, basically. No, I'll have you all stay here. It's good to have somebody back on the ship, just in case anything is to happen. Zohar, are you and Navari able to communicate at all?
That's what I was going to ask, actually, because I know that she's got some kind of empathic ability.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I have not learned
Kinda.
anything about the way that the void works.
Zohar has Navari, you actually don't know how Navari communicates through the void. You haven't seen it.
I was going to ask
She just
her,
says she
though.
has... Okay, yeah, by all means.
Yeah. Since Weha says we should probably leave some kind of trail of breadcrumbs back to the ship, I was wondering, well, I don't really know how this works, or if you can even do it. All of my void stuff has been different, and I don't know how yours works, but maybe we could do some kind of, like, mental tether or something, you know? So if we lose sight of the ship or weird things start to go down...
Is that an ability that you are possessed with, Zohar?
Well, I've never tried it before, but it's something that's possible, so it might work.
I
can't promise
confess
it
that
will.
my method for communicating through the void is not what you would call telepathy, though it is a brain transmission of a kind.
How do you
In a
mean?
very literal sense. I mean,
Like surgery?
it's easier if I show you.
Okay.
Come with me. I'll send this
I'll
communique
follow.
back to the consortium, and I'll show you how this works. And she leads you below deck to her cabin on the top floor. Which is now you see that Navari totally got the nicest cabin. It's like 2.5 times the size of all of yours. And she has it very, very well decorated. There are these like beautiful carpets like spread out of all different bright colors, and she has tapestries hanging from the wall, and lots of like incense burners and candles. It's a very calm, sort of serene place. And she says, yes, so this is how I communicate through the void. And she pulls a like tank up from under her desk and places it there. And it's like a fish tank in which is swimming a brain.
Is that yours or
This-
is that somebody else's?
It's no one else's. It's the Void's. This is a being native to the Void called a Mind Nebula.
Huh.
It can record messages from the mind, carry them through the Void, and deliver them wherever you assign it to go. So I simply speak into the mind of the Mind Nebula. It travels back through the Void Tear and delivers the message to the Consortium. It does take some time. Void space does not align exactly with physical space, so the routes can be a bit circuitous, but it always comes back. It's a loyal creature.
You think maybe it could talk to something else that's like it from the void? Over a distance, maybe?
Possibly. I don't wish to potentially confuse it or have its loyalties strained, so to speak, by introducing it to other Void creatures. I am a bit worried using it here if the Void presence, as you say, is quite so strong. Nonetheless, we do need to get a communique back to the Consortium, so I suppose I have no choice.
What if we did like a one time in case of emergency sort of thing?
Well, what I mean to say, Zohar, is that by communing with the Mind Nebula, I do have a manner of telepathy, though my telepathy is specifically with this creature. I'm able to communicate with it. I believe, potentially, I could speak with you via telepathic means. It's just not something that I've really done, and I don't know if it would work. If you'd like to test it, I'm open to trying new things.
Seems like a good idea to me. Maybe not a smart one, but a good idea.
Okay. Right, well, allow me to simply get this message off, and then we'll give it a try, shall we? And she
Sounds good.
picks up the Mind Nebula, holds out her kind of clawed hand. She has these kind of like talon-like fingers that are adorned with many golden rings. She holds the Mind Nebula in front of her, and as she releases it from her grip, it floats above her hand, just sort of idly twirls as she closes her eyes and communicates with it, and then closes her grip, and the Mind Nebula floats out the door, up to the top deck, and then down, and everyone on the top deck sees a fucking brain floating up the stairs onto the top deck, and then down off the side of the ship. I love this
Yara,
image
what did
from
you
your
take?
side, because it's like... Yeah, go ahead, please.
I think the second that Yara sees it, she begins to like hold out her hands and she's like beginning to follow it until it's like too far away.
Sanha like grabs her around, like does like the mom grab, like grabs her around the
Yeah.
waist, like no.
Please,
I
I want
instinctively,
to touch it.
Oshan was about to like reach out and like gently turn her away so she wasn't chasing off the ship, but then stopped when Sana grabbed her.
No, you. First of all, do you even know what it is? Is it yours?
I was just to remind.
Okay, then no, you're not allowed to touch it. It's not yours. It's a brain.
That's
Okay.
that was a floating brain.
It's a brain, and I don't know why there's a brain and no body. But look, they've already set it to a weird place.
Technically, that's not just a brain. It belongs to Navari, or, you know, it's her friend or something. It's gonna come with us. And if we need to get out in a hurry or send a really important life or death message back to the ship, she knows how to talk to it.
So this brain is how we're communicating with her.
Well, technically,
Oh,
it's
yeah, sorry.
the void in the brain, but
I should have really told you guys about that, huh? Sorry. I thought Navari would, Joke's on me. She sucks. Should have known.
What she told
Sorry.
me how it
Yeah, no.
works sometimes.
It's a mind nebula. Mind nebula, void creature, looks like a floating brain, travels through the void carrying messages, all that. Yep. Sorry. That's... You do these things enough times and it's like, all this stuff seems normal. It's not really normal for you guys, so my bad. Should have brought that up. I will do better in the future, Commander.
That's all that anybody can ask for, I suppose. Okay. So us and our pet brain are going to go and figure out what the hell is going on. Love it. Love it.
Yep. Yep.
All right, everybody go get your things. Equipment, notes, weapons, whatever you have, whatever you need. And we'll meet back up here on the deck in no more than... She, like, looks over at Yara. 15 minutes.
I will try.
And again,
and
Commander,
she
you
slinks away.
Moonwalks that way. And
I know you're gonna try to bring everything. I know you're gonna try to bring your little goddamn laboratory.
oh god, flying on a plane with Yara is the worst. She overpacks so bad every time. The bags are always overweight. She can't get through TSA. It's a whole thing.
But
probably
she
the
always
whole
forgets
thing
that
of-
she can't have, like, liquid in her
The
carry-on
liquids.
over a certain
Yep.
size. Yeah.
Yep.
Every she
But
takes
yeah,
that.
we-
middle
need
seat,
these.
but she has
Buys a
so
ton-
much stuff she puts in the overhead.
Like gets
Buys a
stopped
ton
for
of shit at
trying
the
to
duty-free store.
smuggle like algae across international borders or something. Like when you have
can't
to
have
drain
this.
out the boat to make sure that you yeah.
It's like, it's
Nightmare.
never, like, drugs, but it's always just, like, weird local foods, and they're like, no!
Yep.
can't do
Yep.
this.
Yep.
Specimens.
Oh, but Wayha just says, like, and yeah, you want me to just hang here, keep the place... I'm cool with that. Like, I got stuff to do. I can entertain myself while you whatever.
Yes. Yes,
Alright.
is there anything like a powder or a colored sand or anything like that on the ship?
I think... so down below, on the bottom deck, your storage deck, there's... where Yara's supplies are, which is like all of the vials and bottles and beakers and all that stuff. And there's also like chemical reagents and things like that. Like there'd be like testing strips and, you know, like some liquids and stuff you can mix to check for chemical composition and stuff. And I imagine among that there would be like some powders of some sort, some powdered elements that you can mix with things to test for presence of minerals and whatnot. So I think yes. And it can be whatever color you want it to be, Liv.
Okay. Sanha goes down and finds like whichever powder we have the most of that is also like not brown or white or green, like something that would stand out. Like a purple or a blue or a pink. Like something
Okay.
bright.
Yeah, I think like if you had something like a, yeah, I mean there's lots of colors around because the flowers, but if you had something like, say there's like a neon green or something that would stand out probably. Like that would work.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Now
And
the
she-
question
yeah,
is,
she
does
takes
Yara mind that you're taking her chemical reagents?
She'll be fine.
All of my things belong to Sana.
I think we already knew the answer to that question before
We
you
knew
even
that. Yep.
asked it.
Yeah, so Sanha goes, grabs that. I think she grabs like a bow or whatever from the weapons just in case. And gets ready to go. First one down to get her stuff, first one up back on the deck waiting for everybody else.
When Sanha arrives into the room where all the weapons are at, the place is immaculately organized. Like everything has a place, everything has a purpose, and it looks like it starts and like as soon as you enter the room, on your left-hand side, it starts with like a case full of daggers and knives, and slowly it goes from daggers to knives to swords to long swords, and then to greater weapons like great swords and great axes. But then on the right side, you see more ranged stuff like bows and arrows, going over to like slings with stones, and I guess I wasn't sure if crossbows were on the list or not. What
Sure.
were they? Yeah, we'll
Yes.
say that. Yeah, and there are
Arbiter's
composite
Call.
bows.
Yeah.
There are, and you see different types. Like you see a regular like short bow, but then you see like a compound bow, long bow. They get more intricate looking as they go down. Like looks like they're just made for, like it goes from regular bow just to a bow is made for strength and everything.
Sanha, it does feel like she's in a rush, but she does make sure that at least one weapon from every section is askew. Like purposely goes down and nudges all of at least one, and then runs upstairs.
Want to hurt me? Sean is like somewhere on the other side of the ship, and he's just like, what? There's a tremor in the force.
Like on the deck of the ship, Oshan just like doubles over a bit, like, I just felt something. Someone just walked over my grave,
right,
then doubled back, and yes, I just feel like someone walked over my grave, doubled back, and then stomped on it a couple of times and kept on going.
Oh,
What was that? What's wrong?
Nothing. He kind of like looks at Sana like in a way like she did something, but he's just like, nothing, Sanha. I'm gonna go prepare now.
Good. 10 minutes.
He heads down. He heads downstairs. It's quiet. Then, even from above the deck, you just hear the sound of Oshan go like, "Oh, come on!" as he goes into the room.
guy's gonna be late. He's gonna be reorganizing everything.
I'll come
He
in
doesn't
at
take
that
too
point
long, though.
because, yeah, Zohar's got to pick up a great sword while we're at it and just be like, "Oh, who got into your toy box?"
It'll be fine. I can take care of this later on. He's like, you see him in, like looking over the case of daggers and just going, no. Swear to God, Sona. If you keep me, nope. Walks away, grabs a great sword, doubles back and looks at the dagger case again. Just okay, and then he heads out.
Yara, what are you getting?
Yara just kind of like goes in. She just like picks up stuff and puts it back down. She seems really indecisive. She paces around a few times and then she ends up picking up a short bow and a dagger. But not the dagger that she had like just picked up and put down askew, just like a whole fresh one. And just kind of like tucks it away and walks away.
What are you getting for science stuff?
Great question. I'll get back to you on that because Yara is definitely going to be late, and it's because she can't decide what to take. And yeah, skip.
All right. So, the rest of you all gather up your stuff, meet back on deck, and I think Navari comes to see Sana before you all take off. Commander, the communique has been sent. Reply can take some time. I'm afraid I can't give you a definitive timeline, but I will inform you at your earliest possible convenience as soon as I hear anything. Do you require anything further? I am willing to offer my counsel in these matters if you ask for it.
I do appreciate that, especially your experience isn't lost on me. I definitely rely on you and Weha for your expertise in your, fields.
Thank you.
Of course. Thank you for sending the communicate. For now, I think, well, I mean, you spoke with Zohar. I think this is a good plan. I've also come up with my own pretty elementary way to make sure we can get back. So I suppose for now, just staying with Weha on the ship, keeping an eye on things. Of course, let us know if there's anything happening here. We'll come back as soon as possible.
Yes, and in fact, I do need to speak to Zoha about that precise matter. If you don't mind, we'll only hold you up just a moment. Oh, and
No.
I had Weha pull some of the data we had from the scouts. Apparently, the day-night cycle on this planet is a touch erratic. It has an odd sort of elliptical orbit. Yes. So, day-night times do vary slightly. So just be mindful of the sun, is all.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. Anything else we should know?
I don't believe anything else, Commander. Should anything come across, I will try to communicate it to Zoha using whatever means available.
Right. Absolutely.
Best of luck, Commander.
Thank you very much.
For equipment, can I take cloth bandages, herbal ointment, sinew, string, and needle? An antidote says it's really rare, so maybe 1 or maybe 0.
Yeah, take one. Sure.
Okay, 1, and then so just like an emergency dose of antidote, and I will take sample containers, gloves, some kind of like prongs, like long distance grabbers, and then shears.
Definitely picturing this as like the thing people use to pick up trash. Like the
Exactly.
the grabby thing. Yeah.
Yep.
So what does Yara look like when she comes back on deck carrying all this crap? Like, are you heavily laden with
Yes, and I also have the frail flaw, so I have a hard time carrying stuff, so I'm gonna be kind of slow. So I just have like this backpack bulging of like containers. I've got my gloves on. I'm holding my shears. I have my little med kit. I'm ready.
Osha looks at Yara, then looks at the backpack, which is like twice her size. Can you hold all? Do you need assistance with that? I could carry this for
Don't
you.
even ask. Oh, Yara, give Oshan your backpack.
Okay. And she takes it off. She no longer looks like a turtle, and she hands it to Oshan.
He takes it and like puts it onto his back.
And she dies a little inside.
Yeah. Please do not scratch them. Do not incinerate them. They are very valuable.
You have my utmost. Trust with these objects. I'll make sure I will maintain them just as you would yourself.
Excellent.
It'd probably be easier to get them. Anytime you need them, you can just reach in.
This is true. In fact, I will be right behind you the entire expedition.
Amazing.
That sounds like a good plan. Buddy system is very important.
Okay.
Speaking
And as
of
you head
buddy system... Oh, yeah, go ahead, sorry.
No, please. But, no, I was going to go to another thing, but you got something else. Go ahead.
Okay. Speaking of buddy system, Zohar, since you will be our source of communication, I figured I could stay with you. I have a plan to find our way back, if my suspicions are correct. And she holds up like her little bag of powder.
Sounds good to me, as long as you don't mind the brain tagging along with us.
It's extremely
the brain.
but oh no, the brain like left, right?
The brain left.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, I should clarify.
Just kidding.
Yeah, the
Never
brain
mind
went through
then.
the void. It's delivering a message. Yeah. But
Right.
that was what I was getting to next.
That was
Which
player
is
error.
Navari. Navari comes up on the top deck and says, Zoha, I'm ready for you if you'd like to try this mind link thing.
Let's give it a shot.
Right. Kado, I will return her in just a moment. We need somewhere quiet. And she takes you again down to her cabin. Right. I've never done this before. But the principles are not lost on me, so I believe we can do this. You clearly are tapped into the void, as am I. We should be able to use our abilities to join minds for a time. I don't know precisely the parameters. I wish to warn you this. I don't know if it's something that can be shut off, if I will be able to effectively see through your eyes and you through mine for a time, or we may need to do our own mysticism to undo this afterward. I don't know precisely, but I think between the two of us we are skilled enough to mitigate the risks. Just so you are forewarned and forearmed. Are you ready?
I am.
Okay. So, Zohar, let's do some mysticism, shall we?
Yeah.
First of all, this is going to be an intellect-based roll.
For
This
me,
is
it's
an
willpower.
improvised. Oh,
For me, it is. Just
I was looking at.
Which sphere
I was looking
you
at Mind Sphere. Mind Sphere.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. Intellect. Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, and
We're using Navari's magic.
yeah, it's kind of a combination of the two of yours here. So
Yeah.
I'm still going to make you roll for it because that's way more fun. But it's almost like Navari is reaching out to you with her mind, and you have to make the connection. You have to do something complementary.
Right.
So,
okay.
How strong you want this to be will determine the potency. So, simple sentences would be a 2 potency, normal sentence 3, complex sentence 4, extensive exchange 5, complex dialogue would be 6. So, like,
I think simple is fine for this.
Simple
sentences.
Okay.
Like,
so it's a 2 potency?
Yeah.
So your number to beat will be 8.
Okay. I do have a -1 to intellect, but since we're interacting with the void, which I'm enlightened to, that is going to get canceled out.
Okay. So this will be just a straight D12 roll?
Just a straight D12 is what should show up, is what I've typed in here. Ooh, that's a 3. I would like to use my reroll for this because I really want this to work.
Okay.
Try that again. 7. Oh.
7. Close. So here's what I'm going to do. As far as the effect goes, you've been knocked down. That would have been potency 1. So you've been knocked down to single word communication. But
okay.
For flavor, what also happens is as Navari reaches out, you close your eyes, and it's as if with your eyes closed, you can still see Navari standing in front of you. You can't really tell if it's just your mental image of Navari or if you are seeing with a secondary set of senses via the void. But it's as if Navari is still there, and it's as if Navari is coming closer to you, moving closer until you are passing through each other. And along the way, as if two ghosts walking through each other, your minds become entangled. A single thread, just a thin, gossamer thread, runs from Navari's mind to your mind. It is tenuous, but it is there. You feel the connection. And Navari also feels the connection. And then you feel Navari recoil. You feel Navari shake and shudder.
What have you done? Who have you let inside here?
It's a friend. It's one of the people on the ship with us. Sorry.
You don't have the right to intrude.
This is my head first. Before you lived here, you didn't have the right to come in here, and you did.
You asked
letting
me. You brought me in. Like it or not,
And I
part of you now.
She needs to make sure that we're safe and we're protected and we can get back home if we need to. She won't be here forever. She's just visiting. Her. The rest of the crew needs her.
Make her stay brief, or I will.
Trust me, I don't need her in here longer than I absolutely have to.
What is that?
That is my friend and constant companion.
So, that's...
Having two of you in there at the same time is just... That hurts more than I anticipated it would.
Yeah, it feels a little crowded.
So, emergencies only, okay?
Yeah.
Are you alright?
I don't feel...
You look a little
I don't feel well.
ruffled. Yeah.
Very funny.
Yeah, he sometimes has that effect on people.
I'll be alright. I'll just have a lie down. I feel as if our connection is weak, but
Well,
still present.
this is far more your department than mine, so
Hardly.
just another thing I'm gonna have to get better at.
Okay. I think I'm going to light some incense and have a nap now. So, good luck out there.
Thanks. Emergencies only.
Yeah, emergencies only. Yeah. Goodbye. And Zohar emerges back on the top deck, looking a little strange, a little strained, but in one piece. All right, y'all. Good luck. I'll be here, keeping it chill.
Thank you. Let's all go. And Sanha will, I guess, lead the group.
Yep. So you get down off the top deck. There's a ladder outside that takes you down, and you have to kind of hop through like ankle deep water to get on dry land. You came up in the middle of this black pond, and once you get out of that, wade through these shallows, past some rocks. You are standing on this little kind of muddy beach, and it's now that you can really take in the extent of the real sheer beauty. The trees are all around you, and especially now that you're off the ship and without that extra bit of height from being up on the top deck, you see how tall these are, how dwarfed you all are by them, and the incredible. I mean, Yara, your eyes would light up. The incredible number of flowers that are blooming on ground level here, all around the base of these trees and in small little bushes, and they are these large blossoming flowers of many, many different colors. There's blues and yellows and reds and greens, and they have these long, what is it, my flower parts, stamen, yeah, that come out of them, kind of like lilies. They're each, many of them range from, I mean, the flowers range from the size of dandelions all the way up to massive orchids, and they give off this beautiful smell, this very sweet perfume smell. It's very enticing, and there are just kind of hobbling around, not seem to care, are these quadrupedal creatures, this grayish red skin that you can see now have 3 tails that just kind of flit behind them, like little curling cattails, kind of. And they're just absent-mindedly walking around, chewing grass, giving not a care for the world. And ahead of you is the city.
So, do we want to spend some time observing them, or shall we carry on?
I think for Yara's sake, it's probably best that we do this now. That way, if we have to leave quickly, we won't have missed out on our chance.
I agree with that.
Plus, I'm really curious about these trees.
Yara's like beaming up at Zohar. Zohar says this, and then she begins to like pull at her backpack on Oshan's back, and it's like scrambling, trying to take stuff out.
Oshan kneels down so she can get to it better.
All right, I will be right back. And she just kind of scampers off, just excitedly over towards the creature, whatever it is. Hopefully it won't kill me.
Yeah, okay. How do you want to approach this creature?
Okay, so Yara's gonna stop like a pretty respectful distance. Like, as soon as it notices her, she's not trying to be subtle about approaching it, but she stops. She starts to like purr. She goes like purr. She'll like slowly begin to approach just to get like a feel of like how it's reacting to her.
You approach it and purr? Did you say purr?
Yeah.
As you approach it slowly and get down, are you like in like a, are you like down in like a crouch almost, or like?
Yes.
Love that. Okay. You get up near this thing, and it's just like absent-mindedly munching at plants. It doesn't seem to really notice you until you're quite close. And then as soon as you're like within spitting distance of it, and it hears that purr sound, it picks its head up from what it's doing and looks at you, gives you that little dog head tilt. Little,
Oh my god.
and it goes.
Oh my god. She just like starts mimicking it. Just like tilting her head too. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm this is top tier roleplay, everybody.
Just so everyone knows, there will be no actual dialogue for the rest of this session, so it's just gonna be purring noises.
Oh my god. Can she like get closer and put a hand gently on like the side of its face.
Yeah, do a presence roll. It's going to be
That's
a lower target than normal. This is only going to be a target 5.
okay.
Because it
Okay,
has a
my
kind of naturally
presence.
friendly disposition.
Oh, my presence is -2. Oh, no. I rolled a 2.
You have a reroll.
I do. May I use that, please?
You may.
Please, I need a best friend. That's a cat dog's alien. Oh my god, I rolled a 0.
Oh.
Maybe I'm like too over eager. It just
That's
instead
what
of
I'm
like
thinking,
gently
yeah.
putting my hand on the side of it, I just like sandwich its face. Just so excited, too excited.
Yep, little overzealous. And you, kind of reach out a little too quick for its liking and try to stroke it, and you just get a finger on it. You do touch it. You feel just for a second that it's got this this really beautiful spiny carapace all around the top of its head that has this gray red skin, and then it has from like the top jaw all the way back, it's got like a long kind of cylindrical head. It has this beautiful carapace that has all of these like ridges in it that kind of like go back in waves, and it has these very cute on the side of its head, these very cute little kind of like bright amber eyes that are kind of wide open as you approach, and it looks very friendly, but you just move a little too quick for its liking, and you spook it, and it backs away, and it scampers off into the tree line.
Yara looks heartbroken, just reaching out, having failed, and then she just literally buckles over, just collapses into the ground,
Yara,
and then she starts
there's a
taking
silver
notes.
lining. There's a silver lining. 1, you get notes. Notes are good. 2, as you reach out and see it scamper off, you see that it's like darting between trees, and then you no longer see it anymore. It just seems to stop moving. And off in the distance, the last tree that you saw it go behind, from either side of the tree, you just see the heads of 6 more creatures peek out, like one on top of the other, very Scooby-Doo. They all look, it's like it went back to rejoin its family, and they all turn back and look at you. And then tuck back in behind the tree.
Taking notes furiously.
So many notes. What do you want to do?
I'll look over back to the group. What are they doing? Because it'll be very apparent that I want to go chase these creatures down.
What are y'all doing?
Oshan is still like, he's like sitting, cross-legged on the floor on the ground. So when Yara's done, she doesn't have to like do that all over again. But he has his notebook in front, his sketch pad in front of him, and he's right now currently sketching some flowers that he saw that are nearby. Like he's just sitting down, just like sketching the flowers, taking various sketches of the various little intricacies that make these flowers unique, either the length of the stem or whatever, like their petals look like, anything that just looks really unique. He writes it down and draws it.
Yeah, and Oshan, it's the difficulty of every artist, right? You can capture the sight. You're a pretty gifted artist. You can capture the visual, but what you can't capture on the page, no matter how skilled you are as a sketch artist, what you can't get is the smell. This beautiful, beautiful smell that these flowers are giving off. It is intoxicating is too strong a word, but it is just, it's heavenly. It's like the most beautiful perfume you've ever gotten. It's sweet, it's fragrant, it's succulent, it's refreshing even as it hits your nose in this incredibly humid, hot environment. The scent these are giving off feels almost like taking a cool drink. It's lovely.
He stares at his sketch pad. Sketches a picture of a flower. Like, let's see. He reaches into his coat, pulls out this little tiny little water paint tray, opens it up, takes a little brush, dabs it on his tongue, stirs it up, and then he's trying. And you see him, he's trying his best to capture the smell of these flowers in color or something, and you just see frustration on his face every single time because he just can't capture it no matter what he does, and it's starting to frustrate him.
You want to roll for it, my friend? Let's see if you can finally get this.
I do want to roll for
Let's
this.
Roll for art.
What should I roll for arts?
I'm going to call that presence.
Okay.
I just want to thank Godfather Wraith for giving those 2 rebels to Yara. Could have used them a minute ago, but you got them now.
Oh.
So yeah, what do you got?
Oh.
Show. Want to use a reroll for art?
No, I don't want to use a reroll for art. I mean, I support the arts, but you know what they always say. Sometimes a failure through art makes you inspired to do other arts.
Yeah. Well, Oshan, we rolled a 2, so it's not a catastrophe. But tell me what you actually put on the page. How does this turn out, and how do you react to what you've done?
So you see, he's pretty much doing his best trying to capture the way the smell is with these watercolors. He's just grabbing, he takes his no. He rinses off the brush, tries another color, no, it just keeps on going over and over again. And it's almost he's almost looking very frustrated. And then after he's done, he looks at the paper, and it is just a big page covered with brown inky looking paint, because he just took every paint that he had and tried his best. And he just looks at it. He sighs because he ruined his picture, and he tries to look at it from another perspective, but just sighs again because he couldn't capture that beauty in this, and it saddened him.
Poor boy. Well, I have exciting news to report that you've all probably seen by now in Green Room Chat. But those rerolls, I believe they were up, so take those away from you. But in exchange, you get something so much cooler. We have been donated our first pet pal of Black Void.
Sorry, Santa.
Liv the player is a fan, but I love pets. Sanha's not gonna be happy about this.
Nope.
All right. Well, that's beautiful. Yara, you're despondent after this adorable creature ran away from you. And you see now all of these these creatures that have been looking at you from the side of the trees tuck their heads back in, and then one peers out the side and then tucks in, and then from the opposite side of the tree another head pops out and looks at you, and then goes back in. And then you see all 6 of them emerge again. And this time they come out from behind the tree. And you see a much larger one of these creatures a slightly smaller one, and 4 babies. And you realize now that the one that you were trying to pet was a baby. It probably was just scared because it's never seen anything like you before, and its parents were nearby, and it ran back to mommy and daddy. But now the whole group of them start walking toward you together as a unit. They just kind of walk, and the large one at the back is kind of pushing them, like, it's okay, go ahead.
Yara will like
And
sit up
pushing them
immediately and then like sit cross-legged. She'll just start like canting her head back and forth and just over and over again.
And the big one, the largest one, lets out like a deep, like, and the small one that you saw before looks back as if for confirmation, and then trots up very slowly to you and lowers its head.
Okay, this very gentle one hand, not double face slap this time.
And before you can even get your hand all the way there, it opens its mouth, and a little, like, giraffe-like tongue. If you've ever seen a giraffe eat a carrot, it's hilarious. A giraffe-like tongue just, like, extends out of its mouth like a fruit roll-up, and just, like, wraps around your hand. And then, like,
my God.
slurps, and then goes back into its mouth.
Hello, little one.
Yara, you realize that this little creature is a lot like you. It likes to taste things.
Am I delicious? Oh my God! Oh.
It can't smile that effectively with its carapace face, but it seems pleased.
Yara's taking notes. Oh my God, she really wants to lick this thing, but that's gonna be weird. So she's not gonna do that.
Do we all see this as it's going on?
Oh yeah. I also picture Weihas just like standing up on the ship because you guys have gotten like 10 feet. He's like, what are they doing?
Okay, so Yara touched something.
Sanha has not been paying attention because she's been like setting up like a little pyramid of sand powder. But here's Johar and just, she did what?
My heart. She just really cares about nature and like animals and small creatures. She touched my heart.
She's interacting with those animals over there. She's doing what
Observing
Yara does
them.
best.
Yeah.
I think as y'all are saying that, the camera pans over and she's definitely like licking the side of this creature's face the same way.
Well, an attempt was made.
She's doing what she does best. Well,
Oh,
don't lick eye after you lick foreign creatures like this. You can't just go doing that.
that's how you get pink eye.
Yeah. Yeah, Sanha's looking around and sees Yara and just instantly yelling from across this like stretch, "No! Stop it! Yara!"
I'm sorry.
When Sana yells, the other creatures back away and like run behind a nearby tree. But the one that Yara is petting and licking stays with her.
Oshan is 100% sketching this.
Yara, what are you doing? Like Sana like walks over.
investigating the local fauna thoroughly.
Remember when we were talking on the ship about how we shouldn't touch things, let alone lick them, because everything on this planet is, in the words of Weha, stinking of the void?
I mean, there is a little bit of void in everything, don't you know? Like, it's space between spaces. So it would make perfect sense that a little bit of void isn't too bad. Right? Look
There's a lot of
deep
bit
into
of
its
void.
look into its eyes, Sanha.
Which one? That has multiple.
This one.
We are not allowed to bring anything onto the ship that is sentient, that has life. Remember that part?
Perhaps it can be our guide while we are here.
Because this thing knows exactly what's going on with that city over there. Wait, what? Can you actually understand it? Like, Yara, can you understand what it's saying?
Do you know anything about this city here, little one? Clearly it is trying to communicate with us.
But it's failing at that, Yara. It's failing.
Oh, no, you are not listening. She's gonna like scoot so she's sitting directly in front of it. She's gonna stare deep into its eyes. Have you ever been into this city? Okay, Sana, you have to admit this is quite convincing.
But what does it mean?
Usually, the head nodding thing is yes. But I
Okay,
think it
so
was
but like
agreeing.
it's trying to. Okay, you know what? Sana pokes her finger right in its face. You're gonna take us to the city now.
And it looks back
Okay.
to like Mama Bear and Daddy Bear to be like, "Is it okay?" And the largest one is just like, as
Thank you
this
so
gremlin
much.
jumps
Pet, pet,
in
pet,
my
pet,
lap.
pet.
Do you mind? I'm doing something.
Well, take good care of your kid.
Sana, you lost an argument with a creature. That is the most amazing thing I've ever seen all day.
I did
And
not
you
lose
see the
an
camera
argument with anything.
So he gives Yara a sketch, and the sketch is Yara riding on the back of this creature with Sana holding onto her waist as like, and in one hand is a beaker and the other hand is a pair of tongs for like grabbing specimens, and it's just a banner that just says science on it, and he gives that to Yara.
Oh my stars! I love it.
And the
I felt it was
creature.
the best way to capture you.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
It's the best way to capture. This is hilarious, honestly. To capture this whole scene, he looks over at Sana like this scene that happened.
I don't know I don't know exactly what you think is so funny. I got us a guide to the city, so this looks like a win for me. Thank you.
Yes, this is the most amazing win for you, Sana. As he goes to join over with Yara and the little tiny creature.
And it's very excited. It's like hopping around, and it's like doing circles around Yara now. Like, come on, follow me. It's so peppy. And then it just kind of like, as soon as you give it any indication, like, I don't know, this reminds me like with my dog. Like, as soon as I go to put my shoes on, it's already at the door. As soon as you like make any indication that you're moving in the direction of the city, it just like takes off and starts like running ahead, like bounding in front of you. Literally bounding. It's like bouncing like a rabbit.
Yara chases it.
And I'd like everyone to make awareness test.
We're going to the city. 5. Unless we're being aware of the void, then I'm aware at a 6.
Stella got 6.
I got a 6 also.
Wally got a 6. Y'all aggressively average. And Liv got a 6. Everybody got a 6.
Yeah.
Why?
More or less.
Yeah. Roll 20?
Roll 20.
What's up, roll 20?
Guys, we did it. We won roll 20.
And as you bound after this thing, chasing after this little creature, there is something that you notice that is a little peculiar. This place is rife with life, obviously. There's these creatures. There's probably other, kind of mammalian creatures. There's obviously terrestrial life here. There's plants everywhere. And there's these massive trees. There are no birds. There are no flying creatures. The tops of the trees are completely devoid of them. There's nothing in the sky. Not a damn thing.
Would I know from science-y things that heavier gravity means flight is more difficult or anything like that?
That is a likely culprit.
Okay.
That would probably be your first intuition. I think would be that higher gravity, less likely to evolve flying creatures.
I'll explain that to the group in more detail than is probably necessary.
It just goes right over Oshan's head.
Is Oshan doing the smile and nod?
He's just doing the whole
Tight. Yeah, cool.
So if you can just explain this one more time. Birds should be here, but because of the gravity they're not here? Or is it birds don't exist on this planet because of gravity?
Well, it could be a million different factors, but it is just a hypothesis. I won't know until we retrieve more data.
So, this thing bounds ahead and brings you to the edge of the city. Again, the land here is flat, just completely flat. But as you reach this, the edge of the city, the trees open up, and there's just this big cluster of buildings. It's not massive. This is not like the cities back on Aniar, but it is still a pretty built-up area. The houses here are all of a pretty standard construction. They are these look to be stone houses that have this conical shape that kind of rise in sort of a spiral. They have doors and windows going all the way up. There's probably stairs on the inside of them. And around back of almost every house, there is like a little fenced in area. It looks like a little garden. And they are, they look to be like well maintained. They're not ruins. They're not crumbling. But you don't spy any life. You don't see anyone here.
Arbiter, this is a very weird question.
This is a very weird game, so...
How well organized are each of these gardens?
They are... They are like... They are maintained. Like, they look... These aren't like wildflowers. Like, these look like they were planted. It's a lot of the same kind of flowers that you saw out in the woods, but there's also some ones that are clearly planted in rows. Definitely gives like an impression of forethought and how they were planted. And there's some that just look like perhaps beneath the ground. It's like a tuber root system, maybe like a root vegetable type of thing. But they look definitely organized.
Yeah, that is exactly what he's like specifically looking for. Because he looked for the organization, but now he's like, if these are organized, there has to be some kind of signs that people live here and they maintain these like day by day kind of situation, or someone did this, put these here in a certain organized fashion, or maybe they're still here. But he definitely like gets up and walks over to one of those garden areas and just like starts looking it over to look for any kind of signs of how long maybe someone has been here or not.
And if you're doing that, Zohar's gonna actually... I was gonna go knock on the door, but I think maybe I'm gonna put these on first and then go knock on the door, just on the off chance some place is inhabited.
You're gonna go... You say knock on a door?
Yeah, I thought you said there were like little buildings and things.
I'm just making sure.
Yeah. Well, normally, you see somebody's house and you want to tell them their garden looks nice. You just go knock on the door and say, "Hi, neighbor. How are the snow peas?"
Howdy, neighbor. You knock on the door. There is no response.
What are you thinking, Oshan?
Thinking.
No answer here, but it looks like it hasn't been too long since someone was last taking care of this place.
It does look very recent that people have been using this area and lived here, but the fact that there's no one here at all is very disheartening. Also, the fact that there are no birds here also has been sending off a bit of a red flag.
Well, I don't know too much about what makes birds disappear, but seeing as what we know about that ship coming back without any of its crew, it's always possible they might have been taken by the void recently. In which case we probably need to get out of here.
I agree, but we still have our job to do here. We need to figure out exactly why this city is here and why it's so darn quiet here, too.
Well, Commander,
I agree. there's definitely... It feels like people just disappeared one day. And by people, I mean whoever lived in these homes and planted these gardens. And it seems like everything is still very uniform, but also at the same time, it doesn't seem like things change around here all that much. Oh, Arbiter. I mean, it was highly implied, but I've basically been doing breadcrumb trails. If I look back on the path that we walked, is that still there?
Yes. Yep. You can see the whatever color, I think bright green or whatever you said. Yes, you can see the clear path back through the trees. You've gone far enough through the trees that you can't really see the ship anymore because the trees have thickened and gotten in the way, but you can see the path that you cut through there.
Okay.
And the
trees are
the little creature. The little creature is sniffing everywhere around this house. My cat is batting at my earbuds. Is just like excitedly running around the house that Zohar knocked on the door, and is just like sniffing at it and looking back at Yara, just like a.
Yara will ask the creature, have you ever seen any people here? Recently?
And when you say recently, it starts looking up toward the sky.
That is very concerning. Yara also looks up at the sky.
It's the sky.
Didn't you mention
Bright
that all
blue
the
and beautiful.
trees are about the same height?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I cut in. I'm so sorry. That was rude.
No, you're right. Yeah, the trees are all about the same height, about the same thickness, about the same distance apart from each other.
And there's no hills at all. It's perfectly flat land.
Dead flat. Yep. I mean, gradually curved because it's a planet surface, but yeah.
I would like
I'm
to
not
look. Oh, go ahead.
You go look first.
Zohar.
Okay.
Oshan?
Yeah.
I would like to look. I would like to find the edge of this city. Like, see where this place where it cuts off. It looks like there is a distinct like cutoff where the city is and where all of this frontier like wilderness is.
Okay. Are you trying to like do a lap around? It's pretty big,
Yeah.
so that'd be a while, but yeah, you are.
Yeah, just kind of like just looking around, like not doing a full lap around, but just trying to find the perimeter of this area and just like walk along the edge of it to see if there's any distinct like city limits or something.
Okay. There definitely are. It looks like. So here's something that stands out to you. There is a distinct hard line. And it doesn't look like... You notice one thing odd as you walk around the perimeter of the city. There are no areas where you can see like uprooted trees or even trees growing within the city. It's like the trees just knew to stop at the edge, and as if the city grew up from the ground itself. But it didn't look like anyone had to come in here and fell trees and make a clearing to make this city possible. It just exists as like part of the landscape.
This may sound weird coming from me, but it looks like this city grew from the ground.
we able to discern if trees away from the city were growing in a very similar pattern, or was it more sporadic, natural?
That's what I wanted to know too.
Yeah. It seems to have been, the trees grow very uniform. Like I said, they're like exactly the same distance apart from each other. And that pattern is constant until it gets to the city limit and then it just stops.
There are no
And
trees
the
beyond the
city
city
itself-
limit.
On the other side of the city, they continue. You can see in the distance there's more. But it's like this, and actually, Oshan will give you this. As you walk around the perimeter of the city, you realize that the line it cuts is perfectly circular. This is very Sim City bullshit. It's like this was just stamped onto the land, and all of the trees just form a perfect circle around it. It's just a hard line.
Okay. Like that.
It looks almost mathematical.
Yeah. As soon as he sees that, he's like, Yara, do you have any experience in topographical terrain?
Yep, I read a book about it.
Well, actually, I would need everyone's to take a look at this. And that's when he'll bring everyone over and point out how the city just looks like it was stamped here. And he points out how the trees look like they stop at one specific point. Like there's no like smaller trees popping up, but just the trees just stop there, and the city is just there.
I've spent my whole life working around trees. Even if you do this with intent, it's not quite this neat. And in order for it to be this neat, there would have to definitely be people around taking care of it to make sure, which I also don't see.
But at the same time, it seems
guys.
like...
So go ahead, please, finish.
At the same time, it doesn't seem like this city is new. Correct me if I'm wrong, Zohar, but trees take a very long time to grow. It's not just, they're not like plants. They don't just pop up within the season. And yet it seems like it has been this way for a while. These trees are all full grown, but this city is new. Well, maybe not new, but seems undisturbed. Despite nobody being here, it's almost as if the city was just, taken care of this morning. Like the flowers were watered and the lawn was cut or whatever. So it's just confusing because it makes me wonder, where is the correlation timeline-wise? Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, I think, I don't know this for sure, but I suspect the void may have stopped this place in time.
Oh.
I
Or
am of
taken
the
this city and the forest out of time and put it all here in suspension.
I am
My
of
theory
the
was that- My theory is that we're in a collision of two spaces. That this city doesn't actually belong to this area. That maybe it's from a different planet and a different part of the void.
I
What
am
do you
of the
think, Yara?
belief that it was put here. I don't think these were grown here. I think perhaps somebody else had the intention of moving here, or perhaps doing something here. I think it is purely scientific and intentional.
I am actually with the same theory as Yara. The uniformity of this city just seems like it was placed here. In the way the uniformity of the trees around it, it does not seem like it was naturally put here. It was put here for a reason. What the reason is, I don't know, but someone put this here.
You guys,
I don't think this is it.
I want to give you something.
The whole world, I
A
mean.
gift.
Yeah.
You guys hit the 20 retweet goal. Thank you so much, chat, for those retweets, which give you a boon. And my boon I'm going to give you is a hint. And it's a real simple one. It's directed at Zohar. Zohar, your hint is now might be a good time for True Sight.
Okay, let's do it again. I don't have to roll for it. I just
No, you don't.
Immediately
You have
notice
to roll if you want
any
to
void
get more
presence.
stuff. Right?
No. Well, I guess if there's other questions, I have to ask her if I'm using my spheres, but I'm just gonna let you come to the front seat and immediately notice any void presence in your surroundings and discern individuals touched by the void.
We'd said earlier, of course, that this place reeks of void. It is everywhere and on everything. Every tree, every plant, every animal, even Yara's cute little buddy stinks of void. But now, Zohar, as you let your little hitchhiker in your brain take over, you focus and you begin to take it in fully from up close. The being appears in your mind and sees through your eyes. You see through its. Your senses completely intermingle. And as you stand at the periphery of this city on a seemingly empty street with not a soul around, you hear it speak to you.
We're not alone.
Do you know what it is?
Behind you.
And I'll turn around and look and see what's behind me.
You turn around and you are face to face with a humanoid, shadowy shape. Behind it stands another. Behind that, another. You're very much not alone. You saw them for a moment from the ship. You saw shadowy figures moving in this city, but now you see that there are hundreds of them. This is no abandoned city. It is very much teeming with life. They did not see you. They exist somewhere on the void. But as you peer in with true sight, you see all of them. And they see you. They see you, and they are offended by your presence. These shadowy shapes begin moving toward you. And as your true sight breaks, you are shocked to find that you can still see them.
Oh no.
Because you have been under the influence of true sight for a little bit longer than you thought. as your comrades have waited for you to come out of this trance state you were in. The sun has gone down. It went down rapidly. Navari did warn you, the day-night cycles here are atypical. The sun has set, and suddenly Hazy Eden is not the place that you knew it to be just a short while ago. Those trees have begun to shrivel and twist. No longer do they stand up straight as pencils. They are bent over and crooked and hanging like willows. They begin to glow this bright blue glow. The plants, those beautiful flowers with that sweet succulent smell, have opened up, exposing that they have these spine-like teeth on the inside. The roots pull up from the ground and begin to wrap around the trees, wrap around the buildings. Everything is giving off this intense, intense blue glow. And the creatures. Oh yes, and I do mean all of them. Those little carapaces on their heads split open. They crack, exposing a mouth atop their heads. The same blue glow emanating from all of them. And that adorable little trill is replaced instead by a throaty growl. As these shadow people, as these rapacious plants, as the trees, as the land, as the creatures themselves all turn on you at once. Roll initiative for the first time in Black Void into the Oblivious Depths.
Oh dear.
That would be a d12 plus your agility.
That's a 9.
So should now be the time that I bring up the fact that I have the clumsy flaw.
Now's a great time for that.
Seems like
Liv.
as good a time as any. Oh no! Oh Sean, you crit fail initiative.
No.
Yeah, I sure did.
No. Oh, so Yara's first, followed by Zohar. Followed by Sana. Followed by Oshan. This land has changed, and it has changed quickly. While Zohar was in her trance, the sun set seemingly within the space of a minute. It suddenly became dusk, and then it was dark. Faster than you even had time to shake Zohar out of her trance. There are dozens of shadow people, these shadowy humanoid figures. They brandish swords that are made of just this emanating black energy. They flood the streets of this city. They are coming out of their houses. They are rappelling down from windows. They are seemingly sprouting out of the fucking ground. They are everywhere. The plants have begun to lash at you. The flowers are beginning to bite. And Yara's little buddy is no exception. I'm gonna roll specifically for his or her or they's initiative. 9. I'm tied with Zohar. Alright. First in the order goes to Yara. What do you do?
Yara, I'm not sure how dark it is here. You did describe like light sources throughout, but in case it matters, I have night vision. Yara will basically dip behind Oshan and say to the group, I think we should run. I don't think we should try. We are outnumbered. And she's going to try to hide.
hide.
Yeah. I have transformative skin. It gives me +3 to hiding.
Okay. This would be a tough spot for hiding. Like, how are you gonna hide?
Behind Oshan. Would that work?
I mean, it might get... Yeah, I mean, I think a successful roll there might make it so that you are unnoticed, and maybe they will direct their attacks at Oshan instead of you, of course.
Okay.
Might get the heat off of you a little bit. Do you wish to move at all? If you're hiding behind Oshan, I guess.
Yeah, I guess I can't really move. I'll just kind of delay my stuff. So I roll hide, which is rolled a 12.
A 12. That will do it. Okay. Tell me how this looks as you, like, morph your skin into Oshan color, I guess.
Oh my god, yes. I love this. Okay. Yeah, so Yara just immediately begins to change colors as she's feeling a mixture of emotions. And this is completely involuntary. She doesn't have any way to control it. And she just immediately dashes behind Oshan and just like clings to the backpack, and she just immediately fades into the color of his complexion.
Oshan, you feel... Yara's pretty small, though she was carrying... Oh, no, you had the backpack, so... Yara's pretty small, probably doesn't weigh that much. You're big and strong. You might notice, like, some slight more weight on your back. But that's about it. Zohar.
How many of them are there surrounding us? Like, are they like coming at us? How hemmed in are we at this point? Is this like the Mines of Moria kind of deal, or?
A bit, yeah. In terms of the number of the shadow people, there are far more than you could possibly hope to combat. The only way out is through, which would be the gauntlet of rapacious plants and animals on the way back to the ship. Your Sana, your trail you left is still visible, and in fact, kind of under this seemingly like fluorescent blue light, it glows even brighter. So your path back is well illuminated. It's just getting there.
Nice.
Okay. So at that point, Zohar's gonna sort of just like close her eyes and extend her arms out to both sides, and then just in this very sort of desperate plea be like, I need you, come to the front now. And I'm going to use my the demonic aspect that I can do, which is basically a transformation. So you see as like the tips of her fingers start to extend and become much more metallic as the entire face is wreathed in this dark smoke and what looks like just dark lightning all over the place. And this affects the creatures in that we're fighting with 2 of fear. I'm gonna go ahead and just draw my 2-handed sword and just be like, we're going back to the ship now!
So this affects everything with fear, you said?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it can be all fear, and I chose fear.
Do you get to select the targets?
Let me. Yeah. I'm just scrolling through the thing. Yep, creatures.
Oh boy. So we're going back to the ship now?
Mm-hmm.
We're going back to the ship now!
Except emanating from Zohar. You begin to Zohar begins to transform into this demonic void entity, and as you do, Zohar, the shadow people back away in awe, seemingly showing almost a manner of reverence for what you are doing. The animals and the plants, however, are unimpressed. And they continue to hound at you. But the shadow people seem to be backing away, at least from Zohar. They still are... You see more kind of coming up from the rear, and they're still brandishing weapons, and they still seem to be itching for a fight, but they're almost like getting people to like back away and clear a space. Anything else?
If we're going on our way through these plants and animals, I'm gonna make a, what is this thing called? A swarming attack. So if we're being swarmed by plants and animals coming after us, I can essentially take a giant sword, sweep across them to attack at a -1, but ignore, dodge, parry, block, etc.
Right, but I think the thing you just did would have been your action, though. That would have taken your full
Oh, it
action.
would be an action? Okay. It's
Yeah, I believe so.
I don't know what it is. An attribute, so it doesn't specify, but that's fine. What I'll do next is try and...
Yeah, to activate it.
Yeah.
Cool. Alright, so Zohar transforms into a void demon. Normal day at the office for the Voidfarers. And the next in the order is Yara's pet. Which growls at you ferociously, and oh wow, I just realized I rolled the wrong... Well, okay, it's an 8, so that's fine. Come on. 9.
Can I attempt to parry this?
Yeah, that would pay forward your action to your next turn. So it's like using your action now,
okay.
using your action as a reaction.
Actually, why don't you let me parry it? Is this thing coming after Yara, or is it going after Zohar?
Yeah, it's coming after Yara.
Me.
Yeah.
Oh, after
Oh, it's going after Yara?
Oh,
Then in that
It's coming
case,
after Yara.
I would like to deflect if I can.
No,
Okay.
my baby.
Yes. So the Yara, what's your what is your
My defense value is 9.
Oh, I met it. I got a 9. So not going to be too much, just a little bit. It's only 2 as it bites you.
Oh.
Its big open head latches down on your hand, right where you were just petting it a moment ago. And it sits back and growls.
As Yara gets bit, you see her spine.
Oh, I'm sorry, Oshan. Oshan wanted to. I'm sorry. Oshan wanted to parry that. I'm sorry. I totally knew that.
Yeah.
You may not take that.
Because
Okay.
because my sword, it actually has the parry rank, and I have the skill deflect.
Oh, cool. What's the deflect skill do?
The character is proficient enough to parry attacks from thrown. Oh, it's a thrown weapon though. Yeah. But I mean,
Well, you
I
could always
still
parry.
have a parrying weapon. Yeah, I still have a parrying weapon though.
Yes.
Can I still parry
Yeah,
that?
you could already do that. Yes, you could already do that. So roll. Just a moment. I'm looking for that stupid chart. There it is. Parry. Defensive maneuvers. Parry. Roll an opposed roll to avoid attack. Okay, so roll your own. So it's a d12 plus your agility. Or if your weapon specifies something else. But I believe it's agility.
Practice. Okay. Plus agility.
What'd you get?
A 6.
6. Not good enough to beat the attack, though. He rolled a 9.
Okay. All right.
So you try to jump in front of Yara and deflect this bite away, but you are a moment too late. It is not a major hit on Yara, but she gets nipped down. That's also crazy to think she's on your back, so like parrying it would have been a real wild thing to do.
Yeah.
Okay. So Sana.
Sana's not a warrior, and what she can do is not really conductive for the distance that everybody is in. So I think she's just running. She's trying to keep up with Oshan and Yara. But
You gonna book it?
I mean, yeah, she's booking it. That's all I can like genuinely think of doing.
Okay.
Plus also
So you can
Zohar
use your
said-
full action. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just saying Zohar said we gotta go. So
Okay. So you can use your full action to move your sprinting speed, which will be on the second page of your character sheet.
yeah,
What is your sprinting
25.
speed? Oh, you're fast. Shit.
It's
That's quick.
it's these legs. It's these legs.
Got these dancers' legs.
Yeah, these like
All right.
digitated legs. Digigrade?
Did you? Oh yeah. That's right. As you run, I am gonna make a roll for the plants that are going to try to bite you.
Okay.
Rapacious branches. Okay.
I do have the dodge ability.
I only got a 5,
Skill?
so I think you're all right.
Shockingly. Absolutely shockingly.
I think you're good. You book it. You're out in front of everybody else. You have these plants that are coming up, like seemingly sprouting from the ground in front of you, trying to nip at your ankles as you go by. But yeah, like, is Sana like a real track star? 'Cause that's kind of how I'm picturing it. Like, is Sana like jumping over plants and shit? Or
Yeah, definitely. Knocking them out of the way with her tail, like she's just going.
oh, with the tail, I love that. All right. Sana books it. Oshan, you've got a Yara on your back.
I book it after the rest of them, and as I'm like going, I am like taking my sword and just trying my best to just deflect any of these plants that try to lunge at us.
Okay. Is this like a swing wildly and just? Do you want to call this a wild attack? Would that
Let me
fit
look at that
what you're
list
kinda doing?
again. I would say for
Which is
this,
like swinging at no particular target.
Yeah, this definitely a wild attack because it's definitely a wild swing because he is
wild
just
swing.
swinging like at these things just to keep them at bay.
So this is like bushwhacking. You're like macheteing your way through
Yeah.
the woods, basically. Okay, so roll d12, and you're gonna get a -3 to the roll,
Okay.
in addition to whatever other
And can I add
modifiers you have.
And I'm gonna I'm doing adding
Strength
my
for you?
strength, but then I'm adding minusing 3 to it, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, cool.
Let's see, did that?
Oh, let me re-roll that again.
I don't see your roll.
Yeah, let me type it in again. I see why. Oh wow!
Oh, that is.
Wow!
You got our first exceptional hit of the game.
Wow.
Oh, I've been waiting for this. Okay, my absolute favorite thing to do. Roll. Oh, that's delirium. Hold on a moment. Where is that? Yeah, exceptional hits table. Oh, that's crippling injuries. There's so many tables. I love it. There we go. All right, my friend, roll another d12.
Another d12.
Yep. Badass. And now roll a d6. Holy shit. Okay. So, you got a very good exceptional hit. What would your damage be for that weapon of yours?
It is a 1d12.
It's a d12? Jesus. Okay, roll your d12, roll your damage.
And do I add my strength to it, or is it just because that I wasn't sure?
Not on the damage, no.
Okay, cool.
I believe, if I have that wrong, I'll fix it next time, but I believe no. 7. So get a load of this. You, because of the exceptional hit, and then you rolled an 11, and then a 5, that is tripled damage. So you do 21 in total to 2 targets. And this will cause, because of the exceptional hit, also triple damage. Anything you hit will be traumatized with pain and will be unable to act for the next 3 rounds. Anything... I have to roll a willpower. Anything that was hit, if it rolls... And I got a nat 1, so they will retreat. Holy shit. So, Oshan, I'm just going to flavor this a little bit. You're going to hit a combination of plants, angry trees, and if you want, one of the creatures that's attacking you. The shadow people are behind you, and I'll just tell you, they're like incorporeal, and you really can't hit them. But the creatures like Yara's that are trying to murder you, they are coming out of the trees, coming after you. What do you want to hit, and tell me what it looks like?
Okay. So you're saying that I hit 2 things with 1 strike is what I'm doing?
Yeah, you hit 2 targets with 1. Yeah, because it's supposed to be like an arcing swing where you hit more than one thing.
Okay, so as they're running, Oshan like is holding the blade at his side. He's running. He's like kind of crouching down low with Yara on his back, the backpack on his back. And as they're running, he takes in a deep breath and like holds all the air in his diaphragm, just like, and he tenses up his muscles. And and he remembers something his mother taught him, that when you're facing overwhelming odds, sometimes the most powerful stroke can take down 2 people, but it can have an effect in more ways than you realize. And as soon as that flashback ends in his mind, he lets out the breath and he just swings the sword wildly, like wide in a huge arc, taking out 2 of the larger trees that are attacking them. And it's just the imposing nature of like the strength behind the slash and everything. It's almost as if you see this radiating aura of just like intimidation and aggression. And if this was like a cinematic thing, you would see text on the screen that... Oh, okay. And in a whole cinematic flare, after he does a strike, you see text on the screen that says, fourth step of the path of the quaking wakes, the strike of the megalodon. And when he made that swing, you instantly saw like this gigantic maw of a shark rise up out of his blade and just chomps down on these 2 trees. And it doesn't even look like it. Like, I would say Zohar is the only one who sees this gigantic image of a shark just rip through these trees, but everyone else just sees the trees just go explode from some unseen force.
You make a clearing. I'm gonna go all out and say, with that, you basically fell a tree with this wild swing. You slice through these ravenous plants, and the sword just buries through a tree. And yes, this is now Shark no Jutsu, new martial art, coined by Oshan. Also, I love Wally. I can always count on you for the awesome anime bullshit, and I appreciate you and love you so very much for it. Thank you. This is why I love playing with you. Yes, Oshan brings this thunderous swing down. That's actually the biggest exceptional hit I've ever seen in a game of Black Void, so well done. And the plants and trees like recede as he does, making a clear path for all of you to bolt. Because with the failed willpower save, things are like backing away, like quaking in fear of Oshan. Oshan has that wild look at his eye. And the shadow people are backing away from Zohar. The plants and the trees are recoiling from Oshan's presence. And as the trees sort of recede back, the whole trunks bend back away from Oshan. You can see, Yara, you're up next. You can see the ship. Like peeking around Oshan's back, you can see the ship waiting. And you can see one little hand on the top deck waving. Looks like it's jumping. What do you do?
I run very fast.
Running.
Oh, yeah, running.
All right. So use your full action for. Well, you're riding on Oshan, right?
Actually, you're already on
Do
the
I
back.
do I get the sense that I'm faster staying where I am?
Might be. I don't know who's faster, but if you're on Oshan's
You know
back,
what?
then
It's
yeah.
fine. Yeah, I'm gonna stay. Yara is going to stay right where she is. She just saw this, like, fucking, like, thundering trees and stuff. It's fantastic. She just, like, leans over and whispers to Oshan, "Good job. That was terrifying." That's my turn. Just praising my buddy here.
And as Oshan like starts to run, you can see your little buddy that just bit you on the hand is still chasing after you.
I'll come back for you, fun.
It's changed a little bit. As it bolts after you, still growling.
I forgive you. Sometimes I bite people too.
Zohar. Zohar?
Oh, you sounded like you were gonna say something else, and I was like, yeah.
No, just your turn.
Yeah,
your turn.
Yeah, we're running. Yeah, right. We're running. Or is
running
there
is the
like
shout,
some
yeah.
creature? Is there a creature immediately like in my way that needs to be dealt with?
Other than
Or
so
immediately-
like
Yeah.
the answer is yes, in the sense that these trees and plants are everywhere. Oshan has kind of cleared a path. As you run back toward the ship, you will basically, if you keep bolting, there are other things that will try to attack you on the way. Basically, opportunity attacks is what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Things will try to nip
Okay.
at you as you go by.
Okay, but they're not like, we need to chop them to be able to get through at this point.
Yeah, you can get
I'm just
by
trying to
just by
visualize
running.
like how far in advance the path is cleared. Okay, then I would like to sprint, which is quadruple my movement, and my one skill that I have is athletics with a focus in running. So I'm very
Nice.
good at running. I don't have any other skills in this game except running. So it says it's a
You so
stamina
fast.
+1. So
Yeah, roll it.
yeah.
And I know exactly what I'll do for this. If you pass this. You're already going to get your sprinting speed. That's not a problem. You're
Well,
fast.
it's not a
Holy
crit, but it's
shit.
I am the best
Damn,
at running.
okay. You're so good at running. And I imagine as you went demon form, you got taller. And the legs are a little bit longer. And you're kind of bounding.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The plants are going to try to bite at you as you go by. The flowers are going to open up their Venus flytrap maws to try to get at you. But with your...
missiles?
Considered what?
Missiles? Like,
Missiles, no.
throwing missiles. Okay.
No,
never
they're
mind.
biting.
Okay, okay.
But with your highly successful check, I'm going to deduct from their roll. Because you're just going too damn fast to easily hit. So I'm going to knock 2 off of their roll. But I rolled a 12.
Okay.
So,
yep, that'll hit.
time for my exceptional hit. 9. It ain't great. It ain't good. Damn charts. 9 and then a 6. A 2. All right, my friend. As he furiously flips through his book, trying to find the page he just had a moment ago. There we go. So I got a 9 and a 2. That is double damage. Oh, you lucky. So that's only 2. Oh, you so lucky. And ooh. Zohar, what are you thinking about as you bolt toward this ship? What is passing through your mind? I know you've kind of given the reins over to the demon. Is there any Zohar left in there?
I think with the focus on like the speed and the absolute just panic of running away, it takes her back to a time kind of very early on in their marriage of her and Omar, back when Aish was just a baby and there was this torrential rain that led to a flood. It destroyed a whole lot of the trees and the farms and just all of this stuff becoming completely waterlogged. And she remembers running for their lives for elevation.
And
Thinking
the pull
about
of
that.
that memory, is very strong. And that was obviously a traumatic day, and it's a memory linked to your husband you've not seen in so long. And you run and find yourself walking through that memory for a moment, reliving that very intensely. And suddenly, you hear your friend.
Zohar, wake up!
Just in time for this plant to bite down in your ankle as you run by. It catches you just above the ankle on the back of the calf. And it's this flower bell that has opened up, and inside is covered with all of these spines that point inward, like a lobster trap, that bite down on your ankle. And as you keep pulling forward, it tears away at the back of your calf. And you feel muscle rip. And you feel warm blood start to fill your shoe. You suffer a major bleeding wound for mechanical purposes. So that'll get worse until you treat it. But Zohar is way at the front of the pack, but is now bleeding horribly from the leg. Sana.
Okay. God. Okay. I'm going to try to catch up to Zohar. So if she needs support in any way, I can be there for her.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, so
just basically booking it.
Yeah, booking it, catching up. And then once Sanha is there, I think she's not a strong individual, but doing her own arms and like her tail kind of like pulls Zohar's weight onto herself and carries her to the ship best as she can. I say carry, but like,
Okay.
you know.
Support. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Roll a stamina test for me. You good at that?
I'm not bad at it. 0.
Okay. That's not bad. That's not bad.
So bad.
Yeah, that's not bad. I mean, it's not an overly arduous roll. 6 is going to be enough to do the job.
Cool.
You run up behind Zohar, and I mean, I'm picturing this as like a run up and like grab her, like get under her arm and just keep trucking. And as you reach the side of the ship, you see Weiha on the top deck, unfurling a rope ladder down to you all. I think we gotta go.
Yes, the others are coming. You get everything started.
Okay. And he bolts back under the bottom deck. Last is Oshan.
I mean, I'm still carrying Yara on my back and just booking it.
Oh yeah.
Sanha is also waiting for them to go up before she goes. Just saying.
Okay, so you see Oshan and Yara catching up. I'm going to make one last roll to see if any of these things can get you, Oshan. Any of these plants can bite at you. The last little mess of plants here. 8. What's your defense value?
It's actually 9 because I am very tough skinned.
Shark skin. Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
I'm going to actually say the plants get a hold of you, but it doesn't pierce your skin. Cat.
Okay. Do they like grapple me or something? Or is it like
No, but you can feel the like spiny teeth that are like pressing up against your skin on your legs as you run by. But it's not enough to pierce through your tough shark skin, and you just keep trucking. And when you reach the rope ladder, you see that Sana is waiting and has Zohar supported. What do you all do?
I just grab. I already just grab Yara because I know Yara's on my back, and I do this. I just reach behind me, pluck her up off my back, and just put her onto the ladder. And then I will make sure everyone is up the ladder because I'm security. I got to make sure everyone is up the ladder first, and I will look over at Sanha. Go. I'll stay here. Make sure everyone goes up first. You need to go. You're the commander. We cannot run this ship without you. Trust me.
You better be right after me. So help me, Oshan, if you were not up here. And she goes.
Yara, as Oshan places you on the ladder and you start to climb, you hear behind you the growl. And see that your little friend is still chasing after you, gunning at the ship, gnashing its teeth.
Oh, I
You keep
wish I
climbing?
could take you with me. Oh, yes, because Sanha will yell at me if I don't.
All right, you climb the ladder.
Yeah.
Yara gets up. Zohar, you're gonna have a bit of pain getting up there, but climb the ladder.
Just
Dripping blood
Yep.
down your leg all the way.
gotta grit teeth and do it.
You are gonna lose a d6 of HP from your bleeding wound.
Okay.
3.
Okay.
Oshan, you're the only one left. The only thing there
As soon as
is
everyone-
Yara's pet.
As soon as everyone is up, I turn around and I head up the ladder.
This thing, as you head up the ladder, it chases after you, and it can't climb, but it reaches the bottom of the ladder and is like nipping up and growling at you, but you can get away from it pretty easily. But it's not giving up. And then it starts like pounding its head against the side of the ship with surprising force. These things are stronger than they look, especially for a small one, and the ship actually is like rocking a little bit as it does so. Oshan, when you reach the top, Sana, your commander, What do you do as soon as you get back into the ship?
I yell at Weha to get us out of here. And I know it's not my turn, but I do want to attack this.
You don't have to worry about that right now. Now that you're on the ship, don't worry about the... Yeah.
Cool. Then yeah. Then I just like basically once Oshan is a grab Oshan by the wrist and I start just like storming down the halls, like dragging him behind me as I'm just yelling like, Weha, get us out of here, like yelling commands. Telling everybody to get someone safe and secure.
Weha says, all right, everybody, buckle in. We're going to do a quick jump. These don't always go great, so everyone just get somewhere safe. Don't open the windows, you know the drill, and we're out of here. And again, for the second time, you feel the unfortunately familiar pull of the void as the ship sinks down into the pond. You feel the void begin to wrap around you as you dive further down. And Sana, as you take a deep breath and ready yourself for this awful sensation that you probably hoped you wouldn't have to experience again quite so quickly, there is a knock at your cabin door. Commander!
Yes, Navari? Wait.
I know we left in a hurry, but I thought you should know that we did receive a message back.
Okay, what did the consortium have to say?
Well, it's really rather confusing, actually. They wanted us to investigate, and that was all sort of expected, but the odd thing is, apparently we have a new point of contact. There's been a change of personnel at the consortium. We're reporting to someone new, someone named Aaliyah? Aaliyah?
Oh, I don't think I've heard of anyone in the consortium named Aaliyah. Odd.
I thought you should know that's who we'll be communicating with from now on, so...
No, I appreciate that. Thank you for the update.
Are you quite alright?
It's always a little difficult going through the void, I suppose, but we're fine. I'm gonna go check on Zohar. Make sure that they're okay.
Yes, I sensed something was wrong with her. Perhaps you should make sure she's alright. I felt it. It's hard to explain, but... anyhow.
Empath.
If you need me,
Right.
you know where to find me. I'm happy to help you with this voidfaring business.
Thank you. Yeah, I think Sana is... But yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Go no, please finish your thought.
No.
You need to go check on
Just
Zohar.
she is gonna go check. Yeah, but yeah, what you were gonna say?
Okay. Yara, you get back on the ship with all of your pack full of science implements, which have to be returned to the cargo hold. And as you reach the bottom of the ship to return these implements, most of which you never got to use, you are surprised to hear a sudden...
Oh my god!
And that's where we'll end tonight.
Oh no!
I wasn't going to take away
nice.
your pet that quick. What do you think, a monster? Come on.
They tried to kill us?
Sana.
Yeah.
Sana's gonna kill me.
Damn straight.
That was
You also see
fun.
that it you also see that it clearly headbutted its way through the hull of the ship into the lower cabin.
I am so proud of that little guy.
That's
I should have
We have a
stopped happening
hole in
right
our ship.
there. You see it just headbutted through the hull of the ship?
Yep, you have a hole in your ship.
Oh,
should have shot it with your-
great.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
Lord,
Just
should
all
have
that
shot him
void-
himself. That would have
All
shut
that
him up.
void
Yeah.
coming in, hanging out.
You got a void leak.
Oh no!
You got yourselves a void leak.
Oh, great.
Yara is okay with this.
Oh boy! Oh boy!
Oh no, this is gonna be bad.
This breaks so many protocols. This breaks so much.
Oh, I can't wait for the ass chewing that is coming from this.
I have a week to write it.
I wanted to give you time. You have a week to think about the
Oh my
particular ass chewing
gosh.
you're going to give Yara.
Oh my word.
Like I
The worst
just
part is
see
she's gonna
Ocha
like
going,
it no matter what. Like, there's no
Yeah.
really scolding Yara.
You can't scold
Aw.
Yara. Yara has a T-shirt
You can't
that says
scold
"Don't
Yara,
yell
she's
at me,
in it."
cry."
Yes.
I love how you guys went to like two different spectrums of the same joke.
Yeah, we
equally
did.
funny.
Yeah. Can't yell at her. She's into that shit.
Oh my god. Wow.
Wow. So I just love the idea. Like Sana gets back to her cabin, opens up the big itinerary with like the list of planets, and it's just like, no. Next. Well, that one was
Yep.
a bust. Also, we can think
Honestly,
about where you want to go next.
I loved
I know,
that.
right?
I loved that was so much fun.
That was so great.
That's last.
That was great. Thank you all. Thank you. Well, Hazy Eden sucked, but maybe the next
For
one will be
us,
better.
Yeah.
The other thing is that because that was a quick improvised jump, it's going to affect your roll for traveling through the void. So like,
yeah.
and there's a leak in your roll. You got a void leak.
I'm
So
Mm,
here's what I'm
it'll
gonna
be
do.
fine.
I'm gonna in the week ask all of you what planet you want to go to next, but I'm gonna prepare more than one. So if you roll shitty, I'll just take you somewhere else, or dump you off somewhere else. We'll see. You can't
Fair.
always get
This
what
is-
you want.
This is so supersonic, hypnotic, funky, and fresh. This is so good.
Just so great. This is just
Okay. Well, that was a joy, as always. Thank you all so much. Let's do some. We're getting we're a little past time, and we're gonna go over and see our friends at Penny for a Tale right after this. They're playing some Brotherhood of Shadows, some Song of Ice and Fire, Night's Watch bullshit. So we're gonna go check that out. So let's do some plugs now, shall we? Let me start bottom right with Stella.
Hello, hello. I am Stella Luna here on Twitch. I am Stella Luna TV on Twitter. I'm a variety streamer. I do mostly TTRPG things. I like to teach people that have never played any TTRPGs and let them know what it's like behind the scenes, how to do it in a streamed environment, and try to get their feet wet, because we always need more people in the TTRPG community, and we love to take care of our little TTRPG babies. And mostly on Friday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, I run a game called Unbound. It uses adventures from Uncaged Anthology, which subverts tropes around mythological creatures and beings that are women. It retells the story in a more fantastic and honestly interesting way. And all the players are all immortals that serve the goddess Hecate that were suddenly thrust out of the realm of magic and lost all of their powers. So they have to deal with like sleep and eating and pain and all the inconvenient immortal stuff, and it's great. And yeah, and thank you so much for being here.
Indeed. Wally.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Wally. You can find me over at Wally132 over on Twitter. WALLE132, like the cute little Disney robot. Every Monday, you can find me over at Colonomicon playing some Monster of the Week with several people in this group, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We had our Session Zero already. It was a fantastic jaunt building a world.
Wally, I literally already forgot. When you said you play Monster of the Week, I'm noticing, like, we do? Oh, yeah, we do. I literally already forgot that game happened so fast. I thought you were, like, signing me up for something that I didn't even realize I did. Okay, yeah. No, we do that. No, we totally do that. Yep.
Surprise! You're playing Monster of the Week now! And then over here on Wednesdays, you'll find me over here playing this wonderful game of Black Void. Then over on Fridays, you have me over in the morning over at Valerian's channel playing some Lancer at 2 p.m. Eastern, which is Friday mornings for the Western crowd. I believe numbers is 11, I want to say. Yeah, 11 a.m. Western. And then in the evening over at Nomadic, I am playing me some Starfinder, playing an all-bear party at 8 p.m. this Friday. I am really excited for that. And then every other Sunday, I'm over at MattF7, the Killer DM's channel, playing some Sunset City Masks, going to the next chapter of our grand saga that we've been running after Colin came in and just like, you know what, I'm going to stir the pot up and then walk right away, because that is the Colin experience. You want Colin to just stir the pot up, just call him in for a day and he'll just walk away.
Introduce some time travel bullshit and then take off.
That's why I respect you.
Love you, buddy. Speaking of people I love, Anna.
Hi, everybody. I'm Anna at Nymeria941, pretty much everywhere else on the internet, except for now I'm Nymeria streams on Twitch, and I'm actually streaming stuff on my own channel again. So we're just having some fun doing story games and hanging out. Come by and check that out if you're interested. Wally has like more than half of my schedule already covered between Monster of the Week, Lancer. But when I'm not playing in games with Wally, you can also find me at, on Thursday, tomorrow, I'll be back here on Weave the Tail GMing our game of Parslings, which also has weird pets. Somebody please come donate an actual pet pal so we can get like a weird, void tentacle cat as a pet for our players there. That'd be super awesome. On Friday night, we have the epic grand finale of Beyond the Twilight Road over on Critical Misses, which is the dark fae fantasy bullshit Zweihander game of your dreams, and we're gonna go attack and dethrone God, and I might die, but you know what, it's gonna be great. We're gonna save the world, or become horribly corrupted and evil in the attempt. So that's gonna be fun. Definitely don't want to miss that. And then this Saturday I have a super special one-shot day that's going on Saturday night. We are playing another game of Zweihander GM'd by me to raise money for Jasper's Game Day, which is an organization that does teen suicide prevention and mental health resources for teenagers. Stream details about that are going to be on my Twitter, so go ahead and check that out. And that is me as I punch my desk. Ow.
Please don't do that. Don't do violence to the desk. Hey, Liv. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I didn't grab my planner so I could try to remember what I'm doing. Didn't do that at all. Let's see. But my name is Liv. You can find me on Twitter at livinaday. It's a pun because it's my life and I'm living it day by day. And if you want to know what day you can find me where, you should follow me on Twitter because I don't stream yet? ? But just follow me on Twitter, see where I'm going to pop up next. On Monday, I am Under the Table with Total Party Chill, where we play indie games, and we do a sci-fi setting with The Veil. And then on Tuesdays, I'm Into Deep over at a Rule of Lore, where we are doing like an all-queer, water-deep dragon heist game. Be gay, do heists. Wednesdays, I'm here exploring the Black Void with all of these lovely people. This Friday over at Q Times is the very last episode of Parliament of Owls for now. We're going to take a little bit of a break, but it's my last episode as an evil character and my last chance to kill Draconix's character, because I know some of his friends are in this group. It's been a
Don't hurt
goal.
Drac.
I mean, he probably
And
had it
then-
coming. He probably had it coming. Don't worry.
What did he do to
100%.
you?
We love Drac.
There's a long list.
We
No,
love Drac.
canceled.
We love you.
On
However,
Saturday-
there is a list.
There's a list.
He knows what he did.
And in this month, on Saturdays, I'm going to be over on Super Dylan's channel playing City of Mist, actually with Nomadic. So
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
I like. Yeah, there's a couple of other people. But you know, mutual friends. Like Stella said, there needs to be more people in this community because we all know each other.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Like
It
it's
really
beautiful,
has gotten to that
but, like,
point.
yeah, it's beautiful, but like we all, it's just us hanging out in everybody's different streams. So, not a bad thing. But come hang out with us, play games.
Yeah, we are a really big, weird fucking family. It's
Okay,
great.
Colin, I did bully
Yes.
Drac, but I plugged our stream first. No, other Colin.
Other Colin.
in
See?
the chat. I see exactly what I'm
Yeah.
talking about too. That's the sad part.
Oh, hey, Colin. Did Colin just get here just in time for that? That's perfect.
He literally
Uh.
entered right as you were saying bully Drax character. The timeline
I
is
think kill
I-
Drax's character was what she said. I
Yeah.
believe it was kill.
Okay,
I
yeah, sure, killing.
look.
A form of bullying, I guess.
I don't support bullying. However,
You do support killing Drac.
no.
Oh, man.
I mean, I could kill Guilty.
Drac
I
is
could
gonna
kill
see
Tim.
this and be like, "Why is it all about me? What's going on the stream? I know we're
what he
talking
did.
about killing me over on Black Void."
No, he's gonna see this and he's
alright.
gonna be like, "Oh, okay, it's Tuesday. It's a
Yeah,
Wednesday."
checks out.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you all for being here. I'm Colin at Colonomicon. I have been your arbiter for this tale. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. Much fun. I am a streamer myself. I have my own channel. It is my name, which is Colonomicon. You can find it here on Twitch, twitch.tv/Colonomicon. You can also find me on Twitter under that exact same name. I mostly shitpost and tweet about the streams that I'm doing. So, like, that's where you want. What is this pointing thing? What is this? I like a guy. Stop it. Okay. Clearly, you want more of me, so we'll just break this out again. I do one-shots every single Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern, and I just caught up on my YouTube upload, so all 16 episodes of One Shot Sunday are now on YouTube. You can go back and watch every single one of them. We have done 15 different games, because we did one twice over the last several months. They're super fun. This weekend, I had to pull up my schedule. We just did Quest, and then this weekend is Blades in the Dark on March 7th with guest GM Valdrianth. Love Valdrianth, he's great. And we're doing a hack of Blades in the Dark called Fistful of Darkness that is a Weird West, like horror Wild West version of Blades in the Dark. And I'm so stoked for it. The week after that is going to be Dungeons & Dragons 4th edition. We're going back in time to the one that started it all for me, personally. That's the one I really into first. And then we talked about this earlier off stream about how excited I am about this game, but on March 21st, we're playing Pasión de las Pasiones on my channel, the telenovela TTRPG, and I'm so incredibly excited for it. So come check that out. And then the other thing we do on my channel is every other Friday at 7 p.m. we have the GM Postmortem, which is the chat show that I do with Lydia, Half Hearts Tournament, who has been hanging out and stream this whole time. You definitely have seen her. And this is the chat show where we talk with GMs and game developers about how to run a better game. And this week's guest is a sponsor of Weave the Tale, Christopher Gray, the wonderful TTRPG developer, creator of The Great American Witch and Nappiest Apocalypse on Earth, making some of the coolest stuff in TTRPGs right now. And I'm extremely excited to talk to Chris. So come check that out, 7 p.m. this Friday, April 5th. And yeah, and as Wally said, we just started a new show. Our estate game went on hiatus, so starting next week, March 8th, me, Wally, and Anna, along with Savvy Seaworth, are in a Monster of the Week game over on my channel called Monster of the Week Act 3. where these 3 people will inhabit the roles of monster hunting secret agents, essentially, working for a agency that is trying to clean up its image of being much too heavy-handed and destructive. So they're being much more inclusive and kind of lovey-dovey with monsters instead of just murdering them and trying to like integrate them into society and stuff. So it's the feel-good monster hunting story that you never wanted, but you're going to get anyway. So come check that out. That is all for tonight. We want to thank you all again for being here. We love our audience so very much. Thank you for those retweets. Thank you for those subs. Thank you for the donations. Thank you for getting Stella a fucking pet. Thank you. That you're not going to get up that easily, even if it is going to try to kill you. And that is all for this evening. Stick around. We are going to raid over and go see our friends at our sister network, Penny for a Tale. We're going to drop into that channel. They are playing some Brotherhood of Shadows, and we're going to go see them. So that's all. We will see you again next week at 6 p.m. Eastern for episode 4 of Black Void Into the Oblivious Depths. Good night, everybody.
These are the tales we weave. Tales of magic. Tales of mystery. Tales exploring the beyond. And while we continue to grow, even more adventures await. In the depths of the unknown. Will you join us in the telling?